So we figure if we pay them well and pay them on time, you know, we'll get a better grade of people than if you put us on that 30, then we pay them once a month. It's going to be a turnover nightmare.
Headed to the top, there ain't none of y'all stopping me. Used to say I never get a ring, Charles Barkley. Now I got a wife, got kids, own property. Bubble-eyed beans that look like that be watching me. Okay, I lied about the beans, but that was hard though. I'm still in that black act, but she starred though. Cause that's all it takes. I'm flashing for. I'm on my grind, not no more fashion show.
What's up, y'all? AJ Simmons back with another great interview for you guys. And today's guest is a long-time Clean Biz Network member. He already had an interview with us before, but I had to get him back because he's doing big things in multiple states. So I had to get him back to see how he pulling this off. You know what I mean? So without further ado, please welcome back Mr. Brandon Orr. What's up, Brandon?
What's up, Coach? Appreciate you for having me second time around.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on for a second time. And you know, these days we started off a little bit different. So these days we go straight into it, and we want to know if you don't mind sharing about where you are in monthly revenue.
Yeah, sure, no problem, man. Right now we are just under 30 grand a month.
Which is amazing. Amazing, bro. I love the growth. So what you won't know where you won't there last time I spoke to you, if I ain't mistaken.
Nah, man. Our last interview, we was floating around like 6, 7, 7, 8. And
so
then right after our interview, we hit 10. And yeah, first 10 grand month was September of 2019.
Okay, but I love it. I love the growth, bro, for real. That's major. And there's a lot of personal growth as well as business growth that you gotta, know what I mean? A lot of things you gotta put in place to get to that level. So I already know, bro.
Man.
All right, but so let's go ahead and rewind a bit now that we got that out of the way so people know who they're dealing with. Let's just talk about who you are, your background, where you're from, all that, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. From the west side of Chicago, born and raised. Shout out west side of Chicago. I went to college, man. I went down to Southern University, shout out SU, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And that's where I actually learned about business. Thank God, you know, that I actually did go to college, because I learned about business there, but not at college. I got recruited to work for network marketing, and that's actually why I learned about business at network marketing. So, but yeah, man, came back home, graduated, came back home. Man, met my wife, and that was all she wrote, dog. We moved to Dallas in 2019, right before the pandemic hit heavy. And we've been growing, man, just growing since then. So
that's what's up. That's what's up, bro. So, all right, now we're gonna skip all the basic questions because we did a lot of that in your first interview. So if y'all want to hear more like the more basic stuff, if we start talking over your head, make sure you go check out his first interview on my channel. I try to tag it somewhere on this video for y'all to watch that. And I want to jump into this because the other day you posted the Clean Biz Network and you spoke about you know, we got to start putting an end to this net 30 stuff, right? With the billing, you know what I mean? And for those who don't know, I'll still break it down for y'all just a little bit. So net 30 is basically the customer gets 30 days to pay, which traditionally has been the thing, right? In commercial cleaning, as well as pretty much all commercial service businesses, right? The customer, you invoice the customer, they get 30 days to pay. My guy Brandon here, like, nah, we fixing that. So can you just kind of share with us about like what strategies are you using to kind of fix this?
yeah, man. So I found out early on that net 30 and net 60 just wasn't the option for me. You know, simply because when you're a small business, and I hate to use the word small, I'm moving away from. I don't even use small business, but technically, you know, you're a small business. Cash flow is the number one problem for small businesses. It's cash flow. So, shit, man. Honestly, I just started putting. Man, there was one deal I just put on the on my proposal. I just put due on, you know, this, and this. Like it was twice a month, pretty much. Well, bi-weekly. And twice a month and bi-weekly are two totally different things too. So I'll go over that later on. But I put bi-weekly so I get 26 pays per year and bi-weekly instead of 24, which is semi-monthly. But anyway, guy called me, somebody who told me no at first, told me no, and he ghosted me. Actually, he ghosted me from November of 2021 all the way up to like February of 2022 of this year. And he had hit me like, hey, exactly what you told me happened, because they wanted to hire cleaners internal. So I told him it could be a hiring nightmare if you don't know what you're doing. So they still chose that route, but then he ended up calling me. So I kind of use that as a negotiation tool. Like, all right, if you're coming back this time, you know, because I spent all that time with you before and you still did it your way. Now that you come back, you're gonna have to pay me twice a month or bi-weekly. Right. So this is me like, fuck it, let me try it. I don't have the deal anyway, so I can't lose shit that I don't have. You know what I'm saying? So I just threw it up against the wall, man. And you know, when I talked to him about it at first, I'm like, y'all got to pay us, you know, shit bi-weekly. Oh man, let me talk to my internal team, see if we can get that done. That wasn't a problem. So I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah.
Right. And so you actually pulled it off. So have you done that with other contract accounts after that so far, or that was your first one?
Every single one. Every single one.
And
so that's the normal process. And that's my thing in business, man. Like, we got to stop acting like little bitches in business. And if you really want to be a boss, like, you have to take control over something. You know what I mean? You can't let the client like jag you around like you know what I'm saying? The more you let the client jag you around, the more they go drag you around. Right. You know what I mean? So one, we already know they go try to jag us around on price. All right, cool. I'll let you. Yeah, we could play the price game, but guess what? When you pay me, it's got to be on my terms. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So we just closed a big deal, a 6-figure deal, last month, man, and that one was first in the 15th. Yeah, and my general rule of thumb, they actually just paid a couple of weeks ago. Whatever the 15th was, but my general rule of thumb is it's not a client until they pay twice. It's not a client when they sign a contract. It's not a client when they pay the first time, because that could have been a mistake. Right. When they pay that second time, we in the game, baby. Now you have a fully onboarded client. They didn't pay twice. Now they used to paying you. Now we good now. But until they pay that second invoice, until they pay, then it's good. But they signed the contract right away. They asked us no questions about net 30. They got it, man. They got it. And you got to go after clients who actually have that type of, you know, budget to be able to do that. If you play small ball, you know, jacking around with small who can't do that, then that's what you're going to get. But if you go after bigger deals and they do have the finances to be able to do that, hey, yeah, we'll pay you on the 1st and the 15th, the 15th and 30, you know, whatever it may be, then there you go. Now you just solved your cash flow issues. Now you don't got to run out and get a loan at 300% and fucking get it. You know what I mean? Right. So I can pay my people on time and all of that. And if they do give you pushback, just have a conversation. Don't just, if they push you back and say, no, we can't do this. Hey, here's why, you know, we actually need this to be done, is because one, you know, we pay our people well. All right. Because we don't want to deal with too much turnover already. And the two, we pay our people on time. So we figure if we pay them well and pay them on time, you know, we'll get a better grade of people than if you put us on that 30, then we pay them once a month. It's going to be a turnover nightmare. So, and then when you explain it to them like that, they understand we're small businesses. You know what I mean? So a lot of them will understand, but that comes along with building that trust. So that's it, man. We haven't had any issue, any pushback, not one pushback, no issues. So,
man, I love that approach, man. Like, people don't understand by just simply keeping it 100 for real. Like, just straight up with a look. If you pay me once a month, I'm gonna be forced to pay my people once a month. That's gonna mess up our turnover. That's gonna mess up your service. You know what I mean? So if you just have a straight conversation with them like that, I can see how that can help a ton, man. So I appreciate that for dropping that gems right there, man. Now, sure. I gotta ask you too, since you just mentioned, I was gonna say this for a little bit later, but you talked about going after larger contracts. So could you share with us, like, what would you say is the best method for you so far with going after those larger contracts?
Yeah, man, I use everything. I use everything. I keep my ears to everything that I've used since day one when I was small. So okay. I keep my ears. First of all, let me back up. So, you know, in the beginning, you just finding your way, you getting your feet wet, you're taking everything that comes your way, and, you know, you learn it. So now I'm at the stages of, I know what I like and what I don't like. I know what pays the better profit margins. I know what we go take, what we not go take. So
Right.
when you get to that point of identifying who your target market is, then you can decide what channels and what avenues have the best of whatever your target market is. And me, we don't run ads. I've never ran an ad, bro, I don't even know how to do this shit, honestly. But it has been honestly finding ways to get an appointment. Gee, that's it. Just get a fucking appointment, dog. Just, hey, get an appointment. And that's whether it be your lead generation service, my in-house lead generation, service, Bark, Thumbtack, Yelp, referrals, and my favorite is cold calling because it's free. I could get on this computer and this phone right now and fucking make 50 calls in 1 hour and close a fucking appointment. You know what I mean? So, those free things are intangibles, and no matter how big you at, that shit still works. And I know it sounds kind of cliche, oh, make phone calls or oh, drop off flyers. And the reason it's still relevant today is because it works. It fucking works. And a lot of people, have this idea that it's some sort of secret magic. Motherfucker, that's the secret. That's the magic. You know what I mean? Like success is on the other side of all of that shit that you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. All that shit you don't want to do, that's exactly where your goal is at. Right there. That's the fucking secret. That's it. So, and when I found that out early on, and I knew that was a secret. It's just applying. Knowing an application is two different things. So, but man, that's it. So I look for bigger deals. I look for people, and to answer your question, when I am looking on Thumbtack or Yelp or Bark or something like that, and even AJ, I do shit, man. And this is something that I was gonna keep to myself, but I look at companies that are hiring for cleaners.
Yeah.
So you could get on goddamn Indeed or whatever and look for the companies that are hiring specifically for cleaning people. Mm-hmm. And then if you're good at negotiation and building relationships, you can actually talk them out of hiring that person and outsourcing that to a service bureau. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be good at, you can't just go on, that's a different type of level. So yeah, so stuff like that. So I keep my ears to everything. And I pop in on your call every now and then. You're like, what's up? And what I say, hey, I got to keep my ears to the streets. I want to know exactly what's going on where. I want to know what challenges are going on in the marketplace. I want to know what, like we just had monkeypox. Right. All right, boom. That's an opportunity for me to send to all my past prospects who told me no. Hey, this is what's going on with monkeypox. Don't sell them shit. Don't sell nothing, but give them some information. Go to CDC. CDC put everything out there. Go to CDC, not plagiarism, but copy whatever CDC saying about monkeypox in the workplace, or even tell them how to clean it. Oh man, this is a cleaning company telling us how to clean. Move expecting nothing in return, but giving them something of value. Mm-hmm. And when you give people something of value, they're gonna look at you differently than just a salesperson. You see what I'm saying? And that's how I close 2 of my biggest deals, man, just by following up, not asking for anything, but saying, hey, can I help you with anything? Hey, just to let you know, hey, we still here, whenever that time comes, or if you have any questions about your current company or just something in my industry, let me know. And my 2 biggest contracts, that's exactly how I won them, just by following up and not being a salesperson, but a, what do you call it? Just a source, just a resource for them. So that's it, man. And just go after the big dogs. That's it.
But simply being the expert that you are. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like we forget that we the experts here. We'll go to a walkthrough and let them tell us how much we pose the charges. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
We the experts here. I love it, bro. So now I know you doing, at least if I'm not mistaken, you started in Chicago, you're now in Texas, and you're still doing business in both locations. Yeah. I had to get you on there specifically for that. So can you talk about what is like transferring? This is far too. Like, I went from Virginia and went to Florida, but I was still on. I can drive back if it was an emergency. Mm-hmm. Jack, a little different. So could you first just, take as long as you need, just discuss that whole process of taking a business and going from one state to another.
For sure, man. First of all, so my wife used to own a daycare back in Chicago. So she's an entrepreneur anyway. Already had the mindset that I wasn't gonna be in Chicago long term. Love Chicago, man. That's my heart. But I truly feel like your environment plays a lot on your success. So man, my wife and I, we put down, man, we put everything we do, we like plan for it. We plan. Because when you write it down or wherever, it actually comes to fruition. That was like everything that's happened major in our life, we planned it. We wrote it down. It may not happen exactly like that, but it definitely happens. So we had to plan to move. We was going through rough times, man. And I'm gonna share something, a little sentimental, but man, right before we made that move, dog, I was sleeping in my car, G. Man, I was sleeping in my car. Everybody goes through, like, it's normal to go through family issues, man. Something financial. We had a financial crisis that happened in our businesses, and it kind of forced us out of our comfort zone. And eventually I started sleeping in my car. I was sleeping at my godpop's house, man. And he lived like an hour and a half away. And I got tired of driving all the way out there after I'm done cleaning. Then get up in the morning, drive to 2 hours with traffic, 2.5 hours in traffic, just to get back, to go make it to my first cleaning at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. So I started sleeping in Target parking lot.
Right. Damn.
Man, I started sleeping in. I say, all right, they got the cameras over there. I got my thing with windows. I'm straight. Shit, I'm good. My wife at the time, my wife, she was fucking sleeping, with family. Girls good, they good. All right, I'm good. Right. So I would go in Target or Five Below and wash up. I had my toiletry bag and wash up and stuff like that, man. But now, like, I'm freaking closer to my cleanings for that morning.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I could wake up a little later, or whatever, or do whatever I have to do. And then, man, it was we just did it, dog. When I looked down at my phone, man, one day in September of 2019, at the time I was in the field so much, I didn't have time to like look at my numbers.
Right.
So I looked down at my phone. I'm like, oh shit, we about to cross over 10. I didn't even know it, man.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, so this move is looking a lot more realistic. So we moved, man. We moved in 2019. I had a job set up just in case, things didn't go well, man. So we moved in 2019. Still had the stuff going back home, man, the contracts back home. But what I didn't do, man, I didn't set the right expectations with the people who were still working for me back home. And I didn't have the right systems in place. So, man, I started losing contracts. I started, I lost like a dental account. I lost like 3 contracts, like back to back, dude. And then people started stealing from me.
Wow.
Somebody I knew, man, from elementary school who was working for me started stealing from me. Like, man, it was just all type of stuff. So the transition was hard, man. And I didn't know about putting systems in place at that time. So then I'm like, oh, man. So what happened was COVID came and kind of finished off Chicago. Numbers just went to shit. But what happened was with COVID, what happened with COVID? Dallas started thriving. We started getting calls for disinfectant service. I'm like, okay, so Dallas is a hit. Right. So I'm like, all right, cool. So then after COVID, things started bouncing back with, going back to some sort of normalcy. So we started back getting people to call us for residential, because that's primarily what I was doing back in Chicago, was residential. It was like 90% residential, 10% commercial. But when we moved to Dallas, it flipped. So now we like 90, 95% commercial, and we still get people back home. A lot of people back home didn't even know that we still kind of was doing it back home until they asked. I'm like, yeah, we still rocking and rolling. So I found, people who I could trust to clean back home, made them independent contractors. Right. And you find good ones and they stick with you and you build that trust. You see what they want. Hey, what are you looking for? Yep. Are you looking for weekend cash? What are you looking for? And I always make that a point. Like, what are you looking for? How can I help you? And I learned, like, you help enough people get what they want, ultimately you're gonna get what you want.
Right.
So you need an extra, some extra cash during the week to supplement your income. Cool. All right. Well, we got a list of houses that need to be cleaned.
Right.
You go knock them out, keep the quality up. So we get that that residential cleaning money too. So that's how the transition worked, man. And that was all she wrote. And I got fired from my job that I ended up getting in pharmaceutical sales, man. I got fired November 11th of last year, so it hasn't even been a year yet. Mm-hmm. So that's it, dog.
That's what's up, bro, man. You damn near brought me to tears. I was over here like holding them in only because you touched so many of the things that I had to go through. And that was always one of my biggest fears. You know what I mean? On YouTube, as a YouTuber, like I feel responsible for other people's success, right? And my goal is for people to not have to go through the stuff I went through, like the sleeping in the cars, like the repos of the cars, like families, you know what I mean? Like the losing accounts, you know what I mean? When you moved out of the state, like a lot of those things you're saying, you know what I mean? And then the fact that what you said was you found certain people that you can actually trust and you just be 100. What do you need? What is it? The freedom that you want? You want the weekends? You want the weekend cat? Like, what do you want? We can get you that, but we got to be on the same page. People don't understand how far a simple conversation, like just showing people respect, dog. That's how you keep long-term workers for y'all trying to figure out how you keep workers. You know what I mean? Then you, like you say, you put in the subcontractors. Now you educating them, showing them how to become an entrepreneur, right? You know what I mean? Like little stuff like that. I'll take you a long way, bro. But I love that feedback right there. And I just had to go off on that tangent right quick for you, man. So would you say that the majority of your work is being subcontracted, or do you have mostly W-2 employees?
Majority is subcontract.
Okay, but so what do you say is your best way for finding those subcontractors?
Man, honestly, Indeed. I don't know what, like because I hear a lot of people saying Indeed is not good, but man, Indeed is like my number one go-to. I guess it's land specific, what part of the country you at. Mm-hmm. But man, thankfully we've had success on Indeed, man. We haven't really had any drawbacks. So yeah, Indeed. And I actually had that question myself, man, when I landed when we landed the biggest contract, well, not the biggest, but the second largest contract. I was in between two. I'm like, man, should I do, employees? Because I'm like, man, with this type of money coming in, I want to make sure, shit, I don't need no alphabet boys knocking on my door. You know what I mean? And I reached out to DB3, man, from CDN. So big shout out to DB3, man.
My interview still DB3 for the record.
Yeah, me and DB3 had a great conversation, man. Great guy. And that's what entrepreneurship is about. Never met this guy ever in life, dog, but I feel like we have a relationship built through CDN. But DB3 was like, man, I use Sub. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I used to sell payroll. Payroll, so I should know all this. But, you don't have all the answers. And when, the ball is in your hands, it's a little bit different, when you got all the risks on your shoulders. So I'm like, hey, So he was like, nah, cool. I'm like, all right, good, man. So I interview people on off of Indeed, go through resumes, just like as if it were a job, but I do explain that it's an independent contractor opportunity and some of the things that are different, from being a W-2. So I make sure they're clear on that, agreements in place. And majority of them they have their own businesses. There's only a couple that are like truly independent, but majority of them are they have their own companies. Shout out to L&B Cleaning Warriors out in Houston, holding our Houston account down. Shout out to Dirty Work back in Chicago, holding our Chicago stuff down. But yeah, I look for companies, and I do have a list of companies. And wherever my target markets are, I have a list of cleaning businesses that I can reach out to. In the event we get something that needs to start like quickly, hey, I could reach out to them. Hey, this is what we got going on. Whether it be long-term or short-term, they want somebody in there right away. And hey, can you guys do this? We'll pay you. We'll figure that out. Here are the margins, whatever. Mm-hmm. And you just do it like that, man. You can do more together than you can apart. So.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Now, this next thing, I know you're a fellow family man such as myself. You mentioned your wife a few times, so shout out to her, by the way. What's your wife's name?
Stephanie.
Yeah, go ahead and get a shout out to her real quick while I'm looking at this
Yeah,
question.
for sure. Shout out Stephanie. I call her beautiful. So we got all B's in our household, Brooklyn and Baylor, our daughters. So I just changed her name to Beautiful. So it's beautiful.
That's what's up. Shout out Stephanie. I won't call her that one. I'm gonna let you call her that one. But bet. So I know you're a family man, right? And I know this because I follow you on IG at Dreams Into Motion. Now, I mean, I'm gonna have somebody put that somewhere on the screen. And but I follow you on there, and I know that like it take a lot, right? To not only build a business, but to do this while you got a family involved too. So first off, let's go back to the first beginning. Because I remember on the first interview, you talked to me about leaving the corporate America, right? I can't remember if I asked you that before. So first, let's start there. Like, how was she in that process of you deciding to leave that job and go chase this cleaning business dream?
Fully supportive. Fully supportive. And I think a big reason of it is because she's an entrepreneur as well. And like I said, she owned a home daycare back in Chicago. So she already had that mentality of, kind of working for yourself. So that piece of it is one of the biggest pieces I hear a lot of other folks talking about, who are solely sold on the corporate route, which is not a problem as long as you, have an understanding of where you both stand and how you could coexist and make it work, whatever your end goal is. So our end goal was always to, I say wealthy, she says comfortable, financially comfortable, but whatever. But I understand where she wants to be. She understands where I want to be. Mm-hmm. And the biggest piece was, okay, we understand the what. Now, here's the how. How do we make this work? You know what I mean? And that's why it's like people say, oh, communication is the biggest thing, but it's not really, it is communication, but it's also how do you communicate to each other in a way where you understand each other and be okay if you don't understand, you know what I mean? So I never had the issue of her coming at me about me being out late, 3 o'clock in the morning cleaning. Never had that. Now, if the bag wasn't coming in, right, and I'm out at 3 o'clock in the morning, then something not adding up. You feel me? But
right,
the bag is coming in, so you understand where I'm at. You know what I mean? So we never had that type of issue. What kind of pissed me off was, man, so I come from a corporate sales background, and you always have sales managers, and that one that pisses you off is kind of like the one that is truly concerned about your success, because they're going to tell you shit that you don't want to hear.
Right.
And that is my wife. So, oh my God. So she's like my sales manager.
Yeah.
We're never going to have a dry month. Like, we haven't had a dry month. We make it, I got to be on a walkthrough every week, walkthrough every single week. You got to close a deal every single month. No excuses. So when you have that level of accountability coming from your spouse to hold you accountable to that, there's nothing but, there's no room to slack off. You know what I'm saying? There's no room to slack off. So me, I would get irritated because she'll call me out on my shit.
Right.
She'll call me out. You know what I mean? I would get irritated. So, and then when I started seeing shit happen, I'm like, okay. All right, so we can do this. So I stopped pushing back so much. And then I started accepting that feedback, because a big part of being a boss is accountability. And I can't sit up here and call myself a boss if I can't allow my accountability partner to hold me accountable to what I say I'm gonna do. You see what I'm saying? So that whole thing was a challenge. It was a big ass challenge, man. It was bad. But then after you see the results, dog, it's like, this is why this needs to, happen. And one day, man, it was a little bit after my job had fired me last year. She could tell, like, when I'm some sort of distraught. And women don't understand. Women don't know, but men, we go through a lot of shit. We just keep it inside. But she's found a way to kind of know when I'm going through some shit. I get quiet. I won't say anything. And one day she just looked me in my eye, AJ, and was just like, look, Everything will be good. You will never work for anybody else ever again in your life. Looked me dead in my eye and told me that. So when I hear that shit, you can't tell me nothing now. And that's why, you know, spousal support on both ends is so important, man, because that can make or break you. Not saying that that particular person, but if you share your life with somebody else, essentially they are a part of you. You know what I mean? So when I heard that shit, I'm like, oh, let's get it. Let's go. That's all I needed to hear. You know what I mean? So we've grown and we still growing, man. We still trying to figure this shit out. We put down one part I think is very, very, very important to every entrepreneur, especially if you're trying to transition out of your 9-to-5, is to get a budget. So if you don't have a fucking budget, if you don't know what your monthly household expenses are, what the fuck are you working for? It's like you don't have a target. I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry for the curse words, but I'm speaking for passion. I'm like, this is straight passion. So it's like, if you don't have a fucking target, how do you know what your goal is? Right. So I created a spreadsheet. When I was in pharma sales, I learned how to do a lot of analytical stuff. So I created a budget spreadsheet that shows. I'm like, okay, cool. Your income, my income, the business income. Ooh, this is how much we spend. Blah, blah, blah. This is what's necessary. Boom. That's that number. So we got to make sure we get the cleaning business to that number every single month. No excuses. You know what I mean? So that helped us a lot, man, because when you do that, that helps you to, all right, if I can hit this, boom, if I can make 10 grand a month, I can make 20. If I can make 20, I could double that, make 40. So, but yeah, personal budgets, man. And don't be embarrassed. I don't understand why people be embarrassed about that anyway, but personal budget. I'll be the first to tell somebody, hey, I'm on a budget. Right. I'm on a budget. I can't make it. I can't make this trip. I ain't been on a guy's trip in 7 years, AJ. I ain't been on a guy's trip in 7 years, but we will make 30 grand. You feel me? Right. So
look, and I ain't been on one ever. I mean,
and look where you at.
All of the people that's doing that ain't bringing in what I'm bringing in with my business. I can promise you that.
Exactly. And you got to be comfortable. You know, sometimes us as men, you know, we do that, but man, I don't care, dog. I don't give a shit about what nobody got to say. I'm good.
And it's like at the end of the day, people just got to realize, like, what you going for in your life and what they're going for might be completely different. You got to do what's best for you, man. 100%. So, yeah. I see you started that YouTube channel though. Now, I mean, you look, your last interview on fire like this one, it was good, but you on fire today. So, like a YouTuber. So first, before I go into your channel, what made you want to get on YouTube in the first place?
You. Nah, man, you. So when I first started out, I only listened to 3 people, guys, and that was you, because I felt like you brought a sort of authenticity to the game that a lot of other YouTubers wasn't putting out there. And I've seen your growth over the years from shooting in your car with a logo on your chest that wasn't CBN, right, to now, you know, to where you're at now. So when people see authenticity, you know, they respect you in a different light than just any other YouTuber with all the cameras, all the lights, all that. No disrespect to them, but for me, that's what it was, man. And then I started to see a lot more people in our industry was having the same challenges. A lot of us had the same challenges. So I felt that it was time for me to, you know, start helping those people as well, and sharing some of the things that I've learned and you know, our success in business to some of the people who are looking for that type of authenticity, man, because I'm gonna tell it all, you know what I mean? But I felt that it was needed. And then when you give back to people, man, that stuff kind of comes around. So I feel like I owe it to our industry, and not just even our industry, but new entrepreneurs, to put that information out there so they can learn just like I learned from you and others as well. So
100%. I appreciate that too, bro. Now I want to ask you too, so what's the name of your channel, and also what are you covering over there?
Yeah, so it's just Brandon Orr. Yeah, it's my first and last name, Brandon Orr. And I'll give you the link. We got a couple of videos up there. I have a lot of content recorded. I'm not the best at actually editing and all of that stuff. And my wife keep telling me, just put it out there, just put it out there. So I'm actually just gonna do that and stop worrying about making it pretty and all this type of stuff with the all the little add-ins that you can do, and just put it out there, man, because the content that I'm coming with is much more valuable than, you know, all the other extra media stuff that you can put on a video. So I'm actually gonna upload a video today, man. So, and I'm gonna get better at that. I'm gonna hold myself accountable to uploading at least one video a week. I'm putting it right here, you know, for checks and balances. But the type of content that we're gonna cover on there is, of course, challenges in the cleaning business and some of the things that we've seen as well as overcome, documenting our journey of where we are now, and you know, just some of the successes and the lessons. I won't call them failures, but I call them lessons as well. And a little bit more on the family aspect, man, because you know I'm a family guy, and there's a lot of people out there, you know, who do have families and who are experiencing some of the challenges that we've, you know, overcome or experienced as well. So when you hear that coming from someone else, you know what I mean? So it kind of puts you in a better light of, okay, if they're experiencing it, if they made it, then we can do it too. So I definitely want to dive into that. And it just won't be for cleaning, you know, industry. It's just entrepreneurs, period, man. We like a cult. Nobody understands it. So that's what we go put on there.
Yeah, 100%, man. So y'all make sure y'all go check out that Brandon Noah YouTube page for real, man, because it sounds like if you like my channel, you damn sure gonna like his. That's what it sounds like to me. So, I mean, I love it, bro, and I'm looking forward to the videos. And definitely drop them because, like you said, it's documenting. So even if they be out a little bit ashy today, you know what I mean, you can pause them up later. You see the progression, just like mine was, right? But I'm sure you're gonna start off passing out because my shit was trash. But anyway, all right. So, what is a typical day or week like for Brandon right now? I mean, you got the YouTube videos you record, and you got the business you running, you got the family going on. So what is the typical day like? Because somebody new to entrepreneurship might look and like, he too busy for me. I don't know. Like, are you super busy, or is it no work at all? Like, how's your work week?
Man, it just fluctuates, man. And I'm glad you asked that, man. One day I had to wake up and realize that I didn't have a job no more. And it was like, damn, I really get to wake up and not punch a clock. Like for real, for real. I did that back in Chicago, but I was out cleaning a lot. So now that I removed myself from the field, I still got 2 accounts that I clean myself, simply because they're easy. They're once a week accounts. And I could clean them when, you know, this muscle is easy work. But but outside of those 2 accounts, like I have nothing going on. And, you know, just to wake up and not have that burden and that stress of a boss, like, you know, over me, or, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a great feeling, man. So I spend a lot of time with my family. I drop my kids off at school. Me and my wife, we into working out, and tell Miss Virginia we all go shop with her. we definitely go cop some raw, but
that's regalactivewear.us, by the way. Regalactivewear.us. Appreciate that plug.
Yep, absolutely. So we work out, man. I think working out is a big part of your mental and keeping your mental right, especially as an entrepreneur. You need that outlet. So we go work out, man. That's like my buddy, man, my best friend. So we work out together. We cook, you know, whatever, man. I just honestly, I keep my nose into podcasts, books, YouTube videos, because it's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to spend time on non-revenue generating activities, man. And if we got this fucking goal over our head, I have to make sure that I'm putting the right information in my head to be able to produce what I'm looking for. Right. So, man, I'm on YouTube. I'm reading books. I'm on something right now, The E-Myth. That's what I'm on right now, The E-Myth. Go cop that if you're a small business. I get no payment on that, so that's a genuine go cop that. But I'm on that, finding ways to operate at the level of where I want to be. My mindset is you don't run your business based off of where you at now. You run your business based off of like where you want to be. So if I want to be at $1 million in revenue by the end of next year, I need to be doing what it takes to be. I need to be doing what guys who are running $1 million in revenue are doing right now. So yeah, man. So I just look for ways to make my business better. I dive into my making sure my margins are good. I pay a lot of attention to my margins. I built a spreadsheet on Microsoft Excel that will give me the breakdown of the margins of each one of my accounts. So I got to make sure that my average profit margin stays at a certain level. Even my walkthroughs, whenever I get a walkthrough or some sort of opportunity, I put it on there and I put my margins on there to see where we're going to be at. And when you see that revenue number on there, man, it's like, okay, I put it on there as if we already won it, just so I could see what that revenue look like, because that's going to make you even more hungry. I got my goals right here, man. So I keep my goals on a little joint right here, man. So you're seeing that every day. I do that, man. A lot of it is mental.
Yeah.
A lot of it is mental. Also checking in on my team, man, checking in on all my accounts and the people at my accounts, making sure they hear from me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you good? Do you need anything from me? What's going on? Because when they hear that, they out in the field, man. So they need to hear that. You know, they need to hear that. They need to check on them. But if it's just how's your day going? You know, and then a lot of times you'll get feedback of they start opening up, telling you family issues or something going on at home, or, you know what I mean? You turn it to not just a business owner, but, just a therapist, everything, everything else, man. I don't know. I'm still learning myself. So, but just being there, man, just being an ear and a resource, for your team. And recording videos. I make sure I record a video at least once a week. And now I'm gonna upload them. I'm gonna upload, man. And that's it, man. I spend time with my family, man. I like going to cigar bars. Man, it's a totally different lifestyle. And honestly, I'm still trying to get used to it. It still feels surreal, that I don't have to wake up in the morning, thank God, and go build somebody else's dream.
Yeah, trust me, it never get old. Almost at least once a week, I'm in here just like, damn, look at this shit. Right. Like, I ain't gotta wake up. Like, we really built this, and it just keep getting better, man. Like, and I do everything you just said. That's my routine as well. Like, I hit cigar bar sometime. I got my goals literally right here on my whiteboard, and I shave the income every month, all that. You know what I mean? And it just is a beautiful. So basically, what I want y'all to hear was he basically working in the field, maybe 2 hours a week, each one of them small contracts, about an hour each. You know what I mean? Yeah. 30,000 a month, y'all. So that's what it is. I mean, so don't think, they doing all that, but they're working too hard. No, he got systems in place. Now, I mean, that's what I was really trying to pull out of you there. So I appreciate you sharing that. Now, one thing I'm gonna do too before we go into this lightning round, what I want to ask you is, who do you think would be the right person, the right type of person to join Clean Biz Network?
People like me, who I was. People who I was back when I first started following you, man. I had a lot of grit. I had a lot of hustle, but I didn't understand fully how to build a business. So, man, I feel like if you're making, and I can't even really put a revenue on it, but at certain revenues, you start to experience certain things. So if you're not doing 10 grand a month, I feel like, your channel is a great channel to follow to get you to that, because I'm a success story of that. I wasn't making 10 grand when I first started following you. And it wasn't even just you, AJ, it was the network that you actually built. It was the exposure to other entrepreneurs all over the country who I could talk to. Shout out to Tony Williams from CBN, T-Dub. Me and him now check up on each other. Like every now and then we check up on each other, and I kind of made it a competition. I saw T-Dub's interview with Brown over at Swept, man. I saw T-Dub. I'm like, man, T-Dub running that much? I shoot him a text like, hey, I'm coming for you. You're like, yeah. So it's like the camaraderie, man. It's the camaraderie. And, because the further you go up in the cleaning industry, the more lonely it gets. Because I've been doing mentoring, and I forgot to put that on my daily thing too. So I do have mentees that I do mentor. I've been doing that. That's something new, and just hearing the challenges that they're experiencing now. Some of the stuff that I experienced early on too. But just hearing that type of stuff, man, and just connecting with the network, man. Put yourself in that environment of people who are already where you trying to go. You know what I mean? X out family, dog. And I think that's a lot of people's biggest challenges, being afraid to X out family, not, not cutting them off like you don't love them anymore. But it's like, hey, I'm focused, man. Like I have to be laser focused, which is one of the reasons that we moved to Dallas, was because we had to get out of that comfort zone. We had to get out of Chicago. We had to indulge on, you really have to submerge yourself in the people that you are trying to be like. You know what I mean? You have to, because what's going to happen is you're going to get brainwashed so much to believe that you could actually be a millionaire and fuck around and accidentally become a millionaire. You see what I mean? Like, it's just, you know what I mean? But if you're hanging around poverty mindset people, where a lot of people like to be the big dog in a small tank, like, nah, bro. Like, if I'm the big dog here, then I'm in the wrong city. I'm in the wrong room. You could be popular in Chicago all you goddamn want. I want to be wealthy everywhere. You know what I mean? I want to be amongst the greats. So I have to change my environment. I have to change what I'm listening to. I have to change what I'm looking at. I have to change all that. CBN was that place. I saw people who had felonies making $250,000. Like, wait, what? You know what I mean? And I could actually message this person, get some feedback from them, and they're willing to talk to me. Mm-hmm. You got broke people in your neighborhood don't even want to tell you where they got their Jordans at. But I got a whole person who got a $250,000 business willing to share that information from me. You see what I'm saying? Did that make sense? You see what I'm saying? So that's the type of, when I say 90% of what I do on a daily basis is making sure my mind intact, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Making sure I'm talking to the right people, dog. So that's the type of person, and I'm sorry for the long-winded, but that's the type of person CBN would be great for. That person, if that hit anybody, they need to be in CBN, period. And I think I got a referral link. You
definitely got one, and we're going to put it under this video, too.
Use my referral link. But no, man, it's a great place, though. And shout out to Ricky Regalado, too, man. That's my boy.
Hey, look, and by the way, you say you hope you touch me. Look, because for real, that's the reason we left home, because it's like, dog, and it's like nothing against family. I love my family to death, and I hope them a lot silently. But I'm going to tell you this, though. I couldn't be there. Like, somebody's birthday every other week, somebody cooking out every other week. It's some type of tragedy every other week. And like you said, I'm the big dog in the small pond, right? And it's like, dog, for one, nobody like turn up more than I do. I'm finna drink, I'm finna party. You know what I mean? Like, because I ain't do it when I was younger. I was too busy building. So now that I got a little freedom, I can't wait. You know what I mean? So, but I realized too, I still ain't where I want to be. And I couldn't continue to grow if I stayed there. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I'm surrounded by these, like you said, poverty mindset. Sometimes people don't even realize the small things that they're doing that's a poverty mindset thought. Like, people, what, y'all getting another house? Y'all, you don't need, how many properties you want to get? You know, it's like, what the fuck type of thought processes? As many as we can. You know what I mean? You to me, how many you want to get? As many as we can. You know, so just a little stuff like that. Why I realized, just like you, I had to separate myself, and hell, let's get all the way to a whole nother state somewhere. You know what I mean? So again, bro, I just want to say, if you touching my hair, you touching me. Hopefully we touching them too. But all right, I'm gonna stop over talking you today.
No, you good. No, you good. I love it.
We're gonna jump into this lightning round, bro. I'm gonna say a word or a phrase. You just tell me whatever first thing that comes to your mind. You ready for it?
I'm ready. Let's hit it.
Right, let's get it. So the first word is Chicago.
Home, baby. Home.
For sure.
It would always be home.
For sure. Texas.
Opportunity.
Okay. Key to success.
That's a good one. Does it have to be a word? I'm going to say living outside of your comfort zone.
Okay.
Being uncomfortable.
I love it. Cleaning business.
Freedom.
All right. Marriage.
Partnership.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so much that goes into that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's partnership, teamwork, being a team.
100%. Entrepreneurship.
Freedom.
100%. Favorite hobby when you're free?
Man, honestly, it's something dealing with business, whether it be shit, watching business videos, talking to somebody that owns a business, just something, at the cigar bar. That's all I really do, man. I'm shit. Outside of family, I don't do too much, but cigar bar, networking,
Okay.
talking shop, doing this.
Right.
That's a hobby.
How about favorite movie or book?
It's too many good books out there for me to have a favorite, man. But I just showed y'all one that I really like so far, which was, if you didn't catch it, it's the E-Myth. Talks a lot about systems and how small businesses fail. I also like 50. If you haven't read that, 50's book, Hustle Harder. Talks a lot about a lot of his business ventures and how they were structured, and a lot of the stuff that he don't post on his Instagram and all that type of stuff. But it opens the door to of how he thinks as an entrepreneur, man, and it kind of helps me to think differently, in a sense, especially if you come from the hood, how to transition your thinking into being able to adapt to people on a higher level. So great book, man. Check that out. Movie, I love Wolf of Wall Street. That's one of my favorite movies, man. I like all of those type of movies, Wolf of Wall Street, anything like that. So
yeah, and I just want to co-sign that 50 Cent, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter too. That one right there, that's definitely one of the ones right there. I would say the next phrase is best decision you ever made.
Marrying my wife.
But worst decision you ever made?
Not applying the knowledge that I had sooner.
Right. I can damn. You saying what I was saying. Let's see, top 5 rappers all time.
I don't have 5, man. I'm gonna keep it 100. Just not in order, man, but I would say Jay-Z. I like Jay-Z. Actually, I like more today's Jay-Z better than the old Jay-Z. Fab is like my top dog. I love Fab.
Underrated.
Man, I'm gonna say my little cousin, man. My little cousin D Scott. He lost his life back in 2015, but so talented, man. He's still one of my favorite artists. And there's a guy in Chicago called Z-Verse. Very talented individual. I used to manage him, actually. Shout out Z-Verse, but I love his music, dog. So that's really it, man.
So we got a Mount Rushmore instead.
Right. There we go.
We'll make it 5 and make it AJ Simmons as the 5th one. We go ahead and
there we go. Hey,
y'all heard that intro.
Hey, for real. No, we definitely had him on that. I watch, man. Every time I hear the your intro and your outro, man, I know it by heart, man. And it tells a story. That's why. It tells a story. So you actually fit with those artists. That's why I like them, because they tell stories and they music, and I love stories. So you definitely up there.
That's what's up, bro. So that's the end of the lightning round. I appreciate you. What's next for Brandon Orr?
Oh man, I'm glad you asked, man. So, man, we have a course dropping this fall. We're actually doing the recordings for the course now. The course is going to be not your average or typical course. In the course, my wife and I, we're going to share a little bit more in tune to kind of what people experience as not just cleaning business owners, but entrepreneurs as a whole. It will be an app specifically for, not an app, but a course specifically for cleaning business owners. But we're going to share some of the things that's made our relationship in business successful, man. So it'll be good for married couples, couples who are still trying to figure out how to kind of make it work. Because like you said earlier, it's super tough, man. So that'll be dropping this fall. Don't have a date for it yet. But man, anybody who's watching this channel, man, just be on the lookout for that. We'll drop it on our YouTube, on our Instagram. And then I'm coming out with something else. I'm gonna keep that one under the wraps, but something else that's gonna help the newer entrepreneurs to kind of dive into their profit margins, and also to anybody who's under 10 grand a month how to help them to get over that hump, because a lot of people who I mentor now kind of tell me the same things, like I'm stuck. They plateaued at a certain revenue and they can't get past that. So I'm just putting together what helped me, what I put together for myself. I'm gonna build it in a way where we could share it to the masses.
For sure. Hey, that last one you just said, that's gonna be a big one. Really, all of them, but the last one in particular is the one that I feel like where I dropped the ball, because, and the reason why I did it is because I couldn't, because you remember I got out so early with my cleaning company. Right. So you know what I mean. So it was like I couldn't really touch on that early on back then. So if you do that, I think that'll be a game changer for sure. And also this, if you don't mind some unsolicited advice here, I just want to offer it. But I would pre-sale, definitely pre-sale those courses, because for number one, it'll show you what the demand is for, right? And then number two, it'll help you put a date on it and get it done. And then if you actually get a sale on a pre-sale time, that's gonna make sure you get it done. You know what I mean? Because you
right.
Just FYI, just a little something. I mean, I would definitely feel free. Schedule another. Let's go ahead and get another interview on too, if whenever you do launch, so we can get it out there. And I mean, get my people some type of discount or something. I mean, so we can look out for AJ Simmons family over here.
For sure, no doubt, absolutely.
Appreciate you, bro. Now, if somebody's watching this video right now and they scared for whatever reason, they don't know no entrepreneurs in their family, they dropped out of school early, they are in college right now, and they think they're gonna do some type of mistake. I don't know what it is, right? But whatever they are, they're scared to make that jump into entrepreneurship. What would you say to that person right
now? Man, just there is no shortcuts. Ain't no way to get to the other side of the river, but to, go through the river. If you get caught up in the current, just, man, you got to know how to swim. But that's the only way, man. Ain't no other way around it. Like I said earlier, you're going to go through some things, but making sure that your mental is in check, making sure that you got the right people around you. Definitely make sure you got the right people in your ear. Don't be afraid to just get out there and network with people who you don't know. If it feels uncomfortable, then that's probably the right thing to do. Having a clear, defined definition of what you truly want, whether it be more money, more time, or both. Mm-hmm. All right, having that clear, and then shit, man, holding yourself accountable. Accountability is the only thing that's gonna get you there. You can work hard, you can do all that stuff, man. But when you move with a sense of accountability and knowing what the end goal is for you and your family, it makes the journey a lot easier. But that's it, man. Just getting out of that comfort zone. If you got to move out of state, move out of the city, shit, do it. And then the biggest thing is stop giving a fuck what people think. Like, I don't give a damn what nobody.
That's the one.
People think, man. Stop letting people who are broke, and I'm not saying broke in that sense, but stop letting poverty-minded people and middle-class people talk you out of your dreams of being wealthy. All right, that could be your past. That's a whole nother show. But man, stop letting these people talk you out of that. Stop caring what people think. Stop caring about it. Shut it off. Yep. Be laser focused, and you just gotta shut it off, man. You gotta turn it off, dog. Turn it.
Like I tell my kids the 2 words all the time. Fuck them. Look, fuck them, dog. Like, that's what you gotta do for real, bro. I love it, bro. Mr. Brandon Orr, y'all, man, you killed this interview, bro. Before you go, one last time, how can we follow your journey?
Man, follow me on Instagram, man. Dreams into Motion. I'll be doing my little reels. I'm trying to get it, man. I'm trying to get it. Hey, Dreams into Motion. That's DREAMS. The letter N, the number 2, Motion. Dreams into Motion. And then on YouTube, you can follow me at Brandon Orr. It's just Brandon Orr. You can find me on AJ's channel somewhere. But that's it, man. That's it. That's where you find me.
For sure, bro. Appreciate you again, Mr. Brandon Orr, y'all.
Thank you for having me on, AJ.
Thank you for watching my video, and make sure you hit that like button if you liked the video, because I know you did, and also hit subscribe, and right beside that subscribe button is going to be a notification bell. You gotta click that, because guess what? You never know when I'm gonna go live. As a matter of fact, I might go live right now, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss my videos, all right? And if you want to start or grow your business, check out cleanbiznetwork.com, all right? We have cleaning business starter kits. We have a lead generation service to help you grow your cleaning business, all type of stuff. And also, don't forget to download the Calculated Clean mobile app as well, all right? So that's what I got for y'all until you click another video and go watch, man. Watch another video, why not? Binge on it, let's go.